and
That's how
recording
you
in
know,
progress.
That's how
Yeah,
you
it
know.
says it. I don't
we're
know why.
we're in podcasting.
We are in podcasting now.
Man, it feels good to be back in podcasting.
Doesn't
Oh,
it? Doesn't it?
golly,
though?
it feels like we haven't been in podcasting for so long.
I will say the last time I was in podcasting, I want to apologize to all our fans out there. I was not bringing my normal energy to the party.
It was the most amazing low energy, Kenneth. The best was, and I don't know why we didn't bring it up on the podcast, but when we were moving the tables around and stuff, setting up here before the podcast, and Kenneth just is like, I'd like to make an announcement. If anyone is wondering about my status today, it was what, 5 p.m. and your
Yes.
watch had hit, I want to say it was 862 steps.
I was under 1,000.
Under
Sure. I was
1,000 steps, which is, I mean, I feel like
really hard to do.
that's really impressive.
Really.
Um,
I'm a big game player when it comes to that sort of stuff. But you diagnosed the problem to my wife because I wasn't at church that day. And you hit it right on. You're like, I don't think I ever saw Kenneth make a drink. He
no,
would just walk around, and if something looked good, he would drink ours.
yeah.
And that's true. That's what happened. I
It
drank a
is.
lot of anything.
No,
I drank a lot of everything.
right. And it was, and people kept going like, where's my drink? And then kids would be like, oh, I think this one's yours. Down it, like, hold on, I don't have enough COVID.
What I was doing is I was basically fortifying my body
Right.
Yeah.
against
Okay.
any sort of disease.
I
That's,
can't believe nobody caught COVID out of that deal.
Look, if anyone should have,
I mean, there
Yeah.
was twerking, there was
there was
breakdancing.
a chair dance. I saw a worm.
Oh yeah,
I
the
did
worm
saw
is.
the-
I saw
see the
half
worm.
of like a spin. I don't know. I didn't
Not
see a whole
sure.
spin.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
didn't do a whole spin,
No, that
but I
was-
did twerk it pretty good there.
I was,
you did try to twerk it.
I
they
heard-
threw, they threw some non-dollar bills at me, so
They made it hail.
Yeah.
They made it hail.
So we started last night. Have either of you watched Schmigadoon?
I feel like this is a setup to a dad joke. But
No, this
I
is an
haven't.
extra. It's on Apple TV. It's Keegan Michael Key and Cicely. Somebody she's on Saturday Night Live. It's Lauren
Oh,
Michaels. produced.
Cecily Strong.
Yes, yeah. And the
What's the name of it?
It's called Schmigadoon. And the premise is that we just watched the first couple episodes last night. The premise is that they're both doctors and they've been together for a few years and they go on this like couples retreat because she thinks that their relationship's falling apart. He's fine. But and they end up like they go through this like I don't know some sort of magical portal and they end up in this like 1940s like musical town. So it's like the everybody's in the like the old timey clothes and there's all these characters like the mayor and the preacher's wife that's always stern and they just bust into song the whole time. And the best so the
I've seen a
Yeah.
preview for that. It's a musical comedy.
yes and but the thing is that they're not a part of it. They're just
They're
like
just
they just
living
walked
life in
into
it,
this
yeah.
town. They just thought they were walking into some town and they're just like stuck in this thing. And Keegan Michael Key, who I think is really funny anyway.
I think Key and Peele are
Oh,
very funny and
so
talented
funny.
people.
And his facial expressions when they start to go into the musical stuff, because he's just like, oh no, not again. And,
All right, tell me the name
great.
one more time.
Schmigadoon.
So like Brigadoon, only Schmigadoon.
Schmigadoon. SHMIG,
Like I-
something like that. It's
You're
on.
told there'd be no spelling, and I want.
Yeah, it's on.
Schmigadoon.
Yeah, it's on.
Apple.
It's on Apple TV Plus or their subscription service, the same one that Ted Lasso's on.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's probably
pretty
where I
funny.
saw the preview.
Yeah.
Watching Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
By the way, fully caught up now.
oh good. So is my son. Yeah,
Did they jump the shark a little bit here?
I still love it. I mean, I do feel like the few things started going. I think that they did a great job of, you had this. The original premise is really only good for like a season,
Get it?
and
Yeah.
then they have to get in. I
There's
think
gonna
they're.
have to be subplots.
Yeah, I think they're doing fine. It'll be interesting to see what
I
happens.
mean, I'm just asked to suspend reality that in the span of 18 months, the equipment manager is now managing
yeah,
a
that
Premier
part,
League
right.
club. That's what you want me to think?
Yeah. He's turned into Evil Nate. I mean, it's just
I mean, I get it. I like the premise of it all. I'm sure it's going to work out.
you just
great.
got to fast track. You just think, you just
It
gotta
was just tough when I
just had to compress like
Yeah.
a 5 to 10 year
I get it.
storyline
I
into
get
one
it.
season.
It's fine,
Yeah.
but
Um,
that caught me off guard a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
little, yeah. Yeah. So Schmigadoon, check it out.
Well, obviously now, how can I not?
Right. Yeah. It's great. So in the vein of Ted Lasso, and
Sure.
while we're still in banter
Right.
before we start the show.
You don't want to get serious. We're just in banter
Yeah.
pre-show talk.
Yeah. So before we start the show, because we haven't done that yet. So as we've well chronicled my my journey towards Parent of the Year last year.
Yes.
So I sent you guys a text
By the way,
message on this.
before
but,
you share this with our listeners, we need to note the date we're recording this. It's
what is today, the
January
9th?
The 9th.
today's the 9th.
That's important because that lets the voters know that you have started your campaign early this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
You are not taking anything for granted.
You know, some people, they get their title and they get complacent. They think they can just sit back and it's theirs for the taking. Not me. I'm out here. I'm going to grind
You're a
from day
gym rat.
one.
You're a
That's
gym
right.
rat,
I'm
yeah.
in there. So Campbell just turned 10 and we had his party yesterday at Dave and Buster's, which, by the way, if anyone knows someone that would like to, like, I don't know, purchase a kidney or something so that I can offset the cost of
I was
this
gonna
birthday
say,
party.
I didn't know you were doing a cash out refinance, but that's awesome.
Yeah, no,
Congratulations.
yeah. I mean, it was his 10th birthday and he didn't really have a party last year. I mean, whatever. But I was just, they kept coming up and they're like, we're out of credits. I'm like, yeah, okay. And
Sure you are.
let me go see if my card
Let's try-
melts at the kiosk
Try
this time.
one more time.
Yeah. But so the best part is so just to skip ahead a little bit. So we got the party and then play for like 2 hours, which I'm like, I think I greatly underestimated how quickly these kids could fly through, and it's on the card now, you don't even
Yeah,
have coins.
there's not even
And
real coins. And that's why they don't have to put any work in.
right.
Remember when you get a bunch of coins?
Yeah, you gotta have
in
like
your pocket?
pockets.
Double
yeah,
thought.
Yeah.
You were like, I've got
I know,
2
he's
quarters.
this, yeah, I
left.
mean, they
Do
just
I
keep
want
swiping that thing.
this
Yeah, you
or
can even
do
just
that?
leave the card inserted on the game and just hit play
Just
again.
go.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's like the casino, right? So
Well, that's what
yeah.
I was going to say is this is really a hallmark of this is 40, right? Because in your 20s and 30s, you're wandering up to an ATM at a casino, whether it's in Shreveport or Vegas or wherever. And you're going, God dang, did I not just pull a couple $100 out of
Yeah,
the account? What's
mhm.
going on? And now as a 40-year-old man,
Yeah.
you're having that same
You got
experience. just
10-year-olds
at
coming up.
Dave and
to-
Buster's.
yeah.
Yes.
So well, and then it really hit home. I mean, not only just was I
Yes.
I was actually trying not to run a tab in my head as I went through the day. I was like, I'm just gonna do this. Yeah.
Analogy full circle.
Yeah. So then, okay, I remember as a kid, like we'd go to Dave and Buster's or one of these places and, you'd play all day and you get all these tickets and you'd end up with like a Tootsie Roll and a black
Sure.
plastic
Yeah,
spider ring.
yeah.
These kids are walking out. One kid got like a gaming headset thing. Campbell got some Bluetooth. Like they're getting stuff. And I'm like, how much money did I just spend? Their prizes
And
are
all
like
that
legit.
for only $1,500.
Yeah, right. What a deal.
So after you've donated to these kids' college fund and
Right.
taken out of Campbell's,
before all of that,
where did you really
happened-
start scoring points? For,
So we all, we're sitting up the front and they come in and it's time for them to go, in. And so I got these, little 10-year-old boys and we're walking in and there's this one, and there's TVs everywhere. There's one really, really big one. And it's, scrolling different things, just advertising different stuff coming up. And right as we're walking in, it pops up to this, it was called It's Not Your Grandma's Bingo Night, hosted by Marsha Dimes.
I love it.
It is a male. I don't even know how you're supposed to say anything. It was a man
I
in
think drag queen.
in
is
drag
still a
queen. Yeah,
socially
I think
acceptable term.
yeah, I think so. So drag queen, but I mean, to the point, sometimes you have the drag queens that are like completely dolled up and everything. We're talking like 5 o'clock shadow, like not even trying to hide, and in this skimpy red dress. And I got 10-year-old boys, right? So they look
No
up and they
filter.
go, yeah, and they were so funny. And I just hear look, he's got boobs, and they just die laughing and they go off. And I was just like, ka-ching. There's another one for Parent of the Year, because not only is it it's not just my kid.
Oh, I
It's
was
going
about
to be
to say,
hey, did you know at Campbell's birthday party there was a guy with boobs? Like,
Gone
great.
above and beyond, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's okay if a guy wants to have boobs. I'm fine with that. But the problem is now there are 10, 4 or 5, however many households of kids you had at this
Yeah,
party
yeah.
that are having to have very difficult conversations today.
I don't know.
It's okay. Some men are, but
Yeah. I
don't know where we go with this.
It hasn't come back up in my house, so hopefully they just think it's funny and move on.
I just want you to know that if this had happened to me and I had to have one of those awkward conversations with my son, you would get a phone call from me, not because I'm mad, but you would not know that for the first 3 or 4 minutes.
That'd be fair enough.
I would chew your ass and try to make you feel awful about this until you were right at the breaking point, and then reveal to you that I don't really care.
Yeah, but they had a great
But
time.
all that to say,
Yeah.
congratulations on. We checked the odds right before we started recording this. You
Mhm.
are still the Vegas odds-on favorite.
Now I kept this one in the pocket.
Oh, hold on.
on.
This may change the odds altogether.
This may change the odds. So yesterday at Nick's basketball game, sitting there having a good
Did
game.
you punch a referee?
No, I
Okay,
didn't.
all right, just
I
asking.
didn't. No.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
So boys are playing, they're having a good time. Nick's team, the Wallace Wolves, they're playing. It's not quite full court press yet, but
Sure.
they're doing their best.
Go on. He's in first grade. We know what you were watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of Nick's teammates, man, sweet little boy named Owen, he's sitting there. He's sticking to his wristband. I mean, so
He's got the red guy. He is on the red guy.
He is on the red guy, right? Frustrates the red guy. Red guy starts talking smack.
Mm-mm.
So Nick said, "Hey, you better watch it. I'm watching you." And
So Nick is
my child,
not surprisingly has decided that the role of like enforcer is his job.
it has
he's gonna
been
be the
since
goon.
the day.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be the goon.
Have you thought about
been
ice
born.
hockey for him?
Yeah.
No, he can't skate, but he'll kick that kid's ass.
So
Don't let him get close to you.
yeah. So the kids are running back and forth and everything, and
Yes, generally I'm familiar with the concept of
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
Go on.
yeah. So, anyways, old boy on the other team decides to dot our guy in the nose, right? Same kids. So Nick, he starts screaming, "Foul, foul, foul." Well, evidently the refs didn't get over there quick enough because the boy from the other team says, "Yeah, what are you going to do about it?" So Nick showed him.
Not a great question. For
No,
Nick. Not a
no.
great question for Nick.
It's not a good question for Nick. However, so everything worked out. And after the game, Nick said, "Dad, are you mad?" And I was like, "Son, I will never, ever be mad at you for protecting one of your friends."
Sure.
So,
Good for him.
anyways,
Okay.
didn't even get an unsportsmanlike conduct. So yeah, I am in the running this year because I am, if he wants to be a knockaround guy, Nick, be a knockaround guy.
That didn't sound like you. No, that doesn't even get you on the board.
Look,
Now,
you're always in the conversation, buddy.
Well,
Don't worry
let me-
about that.
so Campbell has gotten he's gotten one yellow card officially, and he has also gotten the referee sort of pointing to his pocket and pointing at him like, "Hey,
Sure.
you're
Yeah.
right there."
Yep.
There was one game, and it was a good game and whatnot, and this ref just wasn't calling anything, and the kids and our kids were getting they were getting knocked around a little bit. And I could tell he was getting frustrated. And I looked at him at halftime. He was on our side of the field. He was about to go back over towards the coaches. And I was like, hey, you notice this ref hadn't called anything? And he was like, yeah. And he started to get mad about it. And then he was like, oh, man. And Camille's looking at me like, what
Dot
did you just
connected.
do? And I'm just like, hey, if the ref's not going to call it, let's see what happens. Next thing I know, some kid's, flying out of bounds. Another one's skidding across his face, I'm just like, hey, it's the ref's job to clean that up.
I have the opposite athletic problems with my male child. He was playing a basketball game a couple of weeks ago, and kindergarten, we're playing co-ed basketball, which is the most maddening experience of my life for a variety of reasons. And this is one of them. We're playing against a team from another elementary school in Richardson, and this little girl that Rhett knows has the ball, and she's dribbling down the floor, but she's on the other team, and Rhett's just running beside her the whole time, talking to her, probably encouraging her. And then it comes time to play defense. She's getting ready to crank up a shot, but she drops the ball. So what does my son do?
He handed
He
it back to
picks
Nate.
the ball up and gives it to her,
Oh, jeez.
and then waits
Yeah.
for her to take a shot.
No.
It's like, that's,
Yeah.
it's great, buddy. That's that killer instinct. Got a
Yeah,
real Tiger
it is.
Woods, Michael Jordan
That
on my
is.
hands here.
Right.
I do have
Fine.
to say, Nick scored 4
It's pretty impressive.
and got him, I don't know.
I mean, in first
8.
grade basketball, that has to put you in the
Yeah.
top 3 on the scoring sheet.
Oh,
doesn't it?
yeah. Yeah. That's,
And
We're
he
talking
got-
about 9 to 7 games here.
Well, I
aren't we?
mean, he got 8 rebounds and 5 assists.
are you keeping stats on this?
Yes, I actually am. I'm like, oh, yes. Get out of the key. Get out of the key. Come back. Come back. Come back.
Okay. All right. I need you to.
I thought I'd heard a lot of sad things today.
That was. I feel like we should just stop the podcast.
I mean, this is really sucking a lot of wind out of my
Yeah.
sails.
Yeah.
You're keeping stats
Yep.
on first grade basketball?
What is
just on my
wrong with
child.
you? Don't do that.
That's ridiculous.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Let's get
Um,
in. Let's get into the show.
We should. Let's,
Banter's killing me.
Yeah. Okay. That's enough banter. All right. It's time to. I think it's time to cast our faith.
All right. Now that we're in the real show.
Yeah. This is the real show. This is the start of the show. We cast our
Um,
faith.
So as our schedules have worked out, I basically just show up and kind of regurgitate whatever sermon I heard that morning. 'cause
I like it.
Tends to be what's fresh in my mind. And man, I really liked today's sermon. So
relationships.
we're recording this on Epiphany. We're talking to you from the location of this sermon, so it's all pretty fresh in my head. And so Phil Snyder, the deacon here at St. James, gave the sermon this morning, and he talked about the things we learned from the story of Herod sending the wise men to look for Jesus, and then consequently what Herod did with killing all the males under 2 to kind of hold on to power. And I loved the analogy that the story taught us we could be one of 3 kinds of people, right? Because Herod really did a lot of great things, was a good king, was thought highly of, both by himself and other people, but thought of himself and prized himself more than anything else. And then the wise men didn't really know, what they were doing. They were just following what they thought God's rule was for them. They showed up, they did what they thought was appropriate, right? And that was their reaction to all of this, and then tried to avoid Herod. I'm sorry. I didn't know if somebody was trying to interrupt me, which I was totally going to let them. So we look at it, and kind of the moral of the story was this: you can choose your reaction to this Jesus thing, right? You can think, you know what, I don't need Jesus. I can go about this on my own. It's fine, whatever. And that's kind of the Herod model. Or you can go, look, I don't fully understand what's happening here. But I do think that this Jesus guy was pretty special. And I do think I need to learn a little bit more about him. And that's kind of my response to it is, look, you don't have to have all the answers. Certainly when we go out on our trips, it is not a Bible study session. But I think it needs to be a place. I've heard the analogy, and I'm sure you guys have, where it's one beggar telling another beggar where to find food, right? We don't have answers, but here's what we're going to tell you. I've got confidence in this Jesus cat, and we're going to roll with him, and we're going to have some good fellowship along the way. And it was, I think, pretty interesting timing, given the proximity towards our trip. So I hope that if you're listening to this and you're somebody that hasn't had an opportunity to go on one of our trips, and you've kind of been thinking about it, you look at this trip coming up, which the weather, by the way, looks beautiful for.
Yep.
Just absolutely perfect camping weather. If you've never taken that opportunity to say, maybe I want to go, I think we've still got 2 or 3 spots open.
We do. We
you
sure
need to-
do.
You need to jump in, let Clay know, let me know, let Jeff know, whatever. and take that opportunity to go out on one of these, not because we're going to beat you over the head with Jesus, as Clay announced in church today. We don't do a lot of the gospel.
I believe what Clay said is that if you boil down what Clay's announcement was, there's lots of drinking and no gospel. That's what I took away from that. No, that is
There was a little more freelancing than we needed, but nonetheless, what I'm saying is, especially during the season of Epiphany, our camping trip here will be in Epiphany. If you want to take that opportunity, now's a great time to do it.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the sermon, especially when I felt like crawling under my pew when Deacon Phil issued the there's gold and frankincense, but wait there's myrrh. And I feel like I knew it was coming, and yet I still just went, oh geez, can I?
When
can
he
this be
said,
over now?
I've seen too many infomercials. I was
Oh
like,
no,
Don't do it.
no.
And
Yeah.
it's probably
Wait,
because
there's myrrh.
I love Phil, but Phil has a handful of probably 10 or 15 jokes that he will turn to all the time,
Oh yeah.
year round. And I feel like I've heard that one before. It's not like a top tier player, but I feel like maybe in Epiphanies or Christmas past, I've heard that somewhere.
I have
before.
heard him bring that one up like in like the middle of the summer,
Yeah.
right? Like he figures out some way to try to
He'll
shoehorn that
it
one in.
when
Yeah.
when it's needed.
When needed. Yeah. We could do a whole podcast on trying to break down when that's needed.
I mean,
but
at some
not
point,
today.
it would
Yeah.
probably be wonderful for all of our listeners and viewers if we were able to get Phil on and have an outdoors discussion with Phil.
I mean, maybe we need to come up and do a special guest M4 podcast.
I mean, did you notice he scheduled him for the Sunday that we get home from?
Yeah, I did notice that. I
mean,
feel
I
like
understand that he doesn't really have
our
much
stuff
of a
isn't
choice, but-
on the calendar, so we should work on that. But
Well, but since all the
Come on.
people that would be at M4 are going to be coming home from Oklahoma that day, I'm not sure what participation is going to look like, but that's fine.
we'll see. It'll be fun. Yeah, there's a core group of M4ers that aren't on the trip, so I think they'll be fine.
I did sign us up for M4 joining up with Cast Your Faith in February, and we will be watching A River Runs Through It.
Okay.
All right. I think we've really got to have a discussion about you got to float some of this by the rest of the team. You can't just,
I know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
To quote
it
Top
just
Gun, son, your ego is writing checks that your body can't cash.
Yeah, so the thing is you do stuff like this, and then all of a sudden I have 30 items on my to-do list.
No. I've already bought the movie. All we're gonna do is
I already
come up
own
here
the
and
movie.
Show it.
Wait, hold on.
It has
Because
to be
no, wait.
streamable.
Wait.
What?
You
Uh-huh.
didn't already own A River Runs Through It?
Okay.
I'm so disappointed in you right now.
So I bought it doesn't mean that I bought it today.
Interesting.
I have the video, and you can ask Jill. Behind Ray, A River Runs Through It is right there.
Interesting.
Interesting that the two
Not-
films in all of existence
a
are
strange
Ray and
Combination at all.
Sarah.
Hmm.
Have you seen any other movies? Ever? I know.
Let's see.
Let's see,
Dazed and Confused.
Are
was a
these
good
all
one.
on VHS at your home?
Oh yeah, there's no
Oh,
doubt.
there-
Beta Max.
Beta.
Yeah.
Beta.
Maybe a laser disc.
It's a big one.
8.
So,
Right.
so the cartridge handler still comes up like this.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, well, that was my my butchered attempt at casting.
No,
my
I think
faith.
you did a great job. I just decided to hijack it at the end.
Well, now look, there's a lot of questions that come out of that, and that's what
Yeah.
I do it for.
right.
Is to just a couple of mind vitamins to get
Yeah.
the juices
you
flowing.
know,
There we
and
go.
we joke around a lot, but in all seriousness, that's the kind of things that we should be thinking about is how do we, the thing that I took away from the sermon, and then we'll move on right here after I get to talk.
Sure. No, it makes
But
Holy
You're,
Ghost.
you've got all
Yeah.
the controls, so
it's true. I can turn everybody's mic off. But the thing is that the thing that really sort of struck me this morning in the sermon was that idea of the magi, the wise men from the east, they weren't Jews. They didn't have they didn't have any sort of longstanding relationship with God as we know that
There was no
relationship.
contractual reason they should have been there.
No, but
No.
they just were like, hey, this is going on and this is something that we should do. And they went and did it. They're just this calling from nowhere that this is the right thing to do. And they listened to it and they followed through.
What
And
would the
that's
world look like
rare.
if more people just said, you know what? There's no real reason we need to get mixed up in this, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a they didn't, I mean, think about it. There's some random star that they noticed and they felt some sort of yearning and calling to go do something about it. And I think that most of us, when faced with that sort of thing, we ignore it, right? Like it's not on the day timer, it's not in my journal, that's not part of the plan.
No,
You're
that
screwing
is
everything
big
up.
ball confidence. Is what
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, let's load up the camel and
Let's
go after
go.
that thing. Yeah. So that's for me, that kind of took away that whole idea of being still and listening, right? Like we
Right.
need to just be still, just listen, and then just trust that we're being sent in the right way.
And look,
So-
honestly, there's not a lot of better places to be still and listen than in the middle of the woods by a river.
That's true,
great place.
and a great place, a great
Wait, are
woods
you
and
okay?
river. I'm
you
not. I'm
okay?
not. I'm.
That sounded serious.
He's
I've,
You-
choked
I've
up.
look.
He's
I've dialed
choked up.
9 and 1, and I'm hovering over the other one just in case. But
I'm about to pop out the defib. Bro.
Yeah,
You okay?
yeah, clear. No, a great woods and river would be Beavers Bend State Park and the Lower Mountain Fork here in just a couple of weeks with us on the Cast Your Faith trip to Beavers Bend.
Right. Which
Yeah.
right before this, we'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Right
Mhm.
before this very podcast, we got together for 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah.
Hammered out
There
all the details.
were charts.
There were
Yeah.
flow charts, there was whiteboards,
Pie charts.
there were
so I could
brainstorming
understand.
breakout
Right.
sessions.
Yep. Yeah, we had to draw some. We had to get some coloring pictures
It
for,
was-
for Clay.
We had markers for some, matte pencils for others. It
Mhm.
was productive nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I think we're at a place where we can certainly talk about the trip a little bit, but needless to say, it's going to be awesome.
Oh,
I think the weather's going to be outstanding. I think the fishing is
no
going to
doubt.
be great. I mean,
Yeah.
everything is pointing in the right direction for this trip. So rather than get buried in the minutia of what we're going to do, let's just say, hey, come out and enjoy it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think I'd be interested in just talking about camping in general.
Sure. So we're heading into it's January and we're going on a
Right.
January camping trip. And we were talking a little bit earlier about some of our different winter camping experiences. The y'all's first trip to the Blue River, which I wasn't at, but I've heard about so many times of the going to bed and it's 60
Wonderful.
degrees and waking up and it's 9 with
Epic.
snow on the
Yep.
ground.
7.
I think that we've all had those experiences. And so I remember when Campbell was probably in first grade and we had a Cub Scout camp out, and there was it was forecast that this pretty big weather system was going to blow through. But the thing was, it looked like it was going to blow through at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. It was going to rain for 20 minutes, and then there was going to be a high pressure, lovely system behind it. It was,
Push it out, we're good
yeah,
to
it was
go.
going to be fine. And and then all these, then people started, oh, we don't want to come because we're going to get rained on and all this. This is the parents, right? It's not the kids.
Which I
And,
have no tolerance for. Like my
I-
greatest fear in
It's-
entering scouting is that I will not tolerate that.
No, it's ridiculous. It really, it's pathetic when some of the parents do this. And the thing that drives me nuts about it is that, look, especially in like our unit, okay, there's so many people in here that are, Eagle Scouts that came up through this that do a ton, or if they're not, they've done a ton of outdoor stuff. Like, and we tell people this, it's the same thing as the Cast Your Faith trips. Look, if you don't have what you need,
We do.
we do. We
Yes.
got all this
Yeah.
stuff. We've got
Yeah.
not only do we have the gear, but we have the experience. Look, I've been through some rainstorms. Okay. I've been through worse than that. It's fine. Everything's fine. And I remember sitting there looking at the kids and they were all freaking out as the storm coming in. And I was just like, look, and me and another friend of mine who's another, scouting Eagle Scout. We've been doing this since the boys were in kindergarten. And we're like, guys, these are the trips that that you remember. You know,
This is
these are the
formative.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what you do. You know, I can remember that.
This
I
is
don't.
how you learn.
I don't remember the perfect weather, sit around, everything goes to plan trips. I remember the ones where the RV catches on fire, and
Man, I'm
you
not
know,
telling you, you're right. That's
yeah.
what sticks with you.
Yeah.
those are the
And part of it was
experiences that make
because
that.
of the parenting philosophies of the 80s and 90s were very different than they are now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you mean the get out
Yeah.
of my house philosophy? Yeah.
I remember distinctly, we were at summer camp one time and there were tornado warnings at Possum Kingdom. And did we somehow evacuate and go hide in cars or?
Oh no.
Well, no, you know what the men charged with our safety did? They go, well, I guess let's all go get in the latrine.
Yeah, that's where you go.
We
That's
crammed
where
30
you
people
go.
into the latrine.
Oh, God, at Constantine.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just.
I'd rather get hit
awful.
by a tornado.
But here's the best part. God, I can't. This is one of the greatest scouting stories I've ever had. So, the danger passes, the warning lifts. We hear the all clear from the mess hall. So everybody's trying to get out of the latrine as quickly as they can, except for one fellow we had, and I won't use his full name, but he was a special needs kind of guy.
Okay.
But mostly he just had a severe case of Asperger's, and profanity was his drug of choice.
Oh dear.
And he wouldn't come out of the latrine. He was afraid there was still rain and lightning in the area, and he was afraid. And he stayed in the latrine screaming obscenities across the camp for about 90 minutes until finally the coup d'etat, the coup de grace at the end of the expletive laced tirade was that he wasn't coming out unless his dad drove back to Richardson and got his dog Pepper and brought her out to camp.
That sounds totally reasonable to me.
And the dad's just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So like picture Andy Dufresne and Shawshank escaping from prison in the rain. All I will picture is this guy standing outside of the latrine, lightning flashing, rain falling, and him screaming, Pepper!
Oh, that's funny.
It was
so
just a different mindset.
So
Go
go ahead.
I was never in scouts. Well, I was in scouts and I got kicked out. But my favorite memory of camping, the most memorable, was we were on that very first trip and we were sitting there in that tent, 7 degrees outside.
So cold.
We each finally somehow cinched up our bootstraps and was like, okay, got to go to the bathroom. Can't stay in here anymore.
And that was it. It was a giant game of
It was-
chicken
Right.
because nobody wanted to be the first
No.
person out the door. It's like
No.
nobody wants to be the
No.
first man over that hill.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Who's going to open that door?
Man, you were wishing you had that wide mouth Nalgene, weren't
Oh
you?
my
Yeah.
gosh.
We take off. We scatter to the four corners of the wind. I guess Kenneth and I finished first, and we go back and we're getting the fire going, and he's laughing about all of the trash
Cherries.
pandas that
Yeah.
came through.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and all of the
I was laughing at Clayton's
the
projectile
cherries that-
vomit
Vomit.
because he's
Yeah,
been
of
eating
course. Yeah.
moonshine cherries and they were all in the fire pit.
Oh,
So
for
we
Christ's
could
sake.
we get this fire cranked up and it was going, and look over at Kenneth and we're talking, and all of a sudden we hear "Caw-caw!"
Oh, unbelievable. Yes.
Dude,
This was just insulting.
We both look over and there's this crow landing on Poop Rock. It was this rock that gave us.
Yeah, we
you know,
figured it
yeah,
out,
yeah,
by
yeah,
the way.
yeah,
I wasn't
Poop Rock.
there, but I got it
Okay.
figured out. Yeah.
It's not a disguised name. It's,
Yeah.
it's literally where we poop.
Kenneth, please tell the audience what that crow did next.
We're sitting there, and if I hadn't seen this with my own two eyes, I would not have believed it. But I watch as this crow takes an entire pack of men's wet wipes that we were using for sanitary purposes.
Men's wet wipes. You
Yeah,
didn't
they
have
were.
just
They were-
generic.
they
They were
were
like
dude
dude,
wipes.
dude
They were
wipes.
dude wipes,
They
yeah.
were Dumbest marketing
He
ever.
picks up this entire package. I mean, we'd probably used two or three of them at this point.
Uh-huh.
He picks up the entire package and is gone. Holla at your boy. I'm up and out.
Oh,
That was good stuff.
You know,
man.
that
was good stuff.
that makes sense because when I guess it was last not this last November, November before, I think we were up at the Blue River and our good buddy Joe, who, you know, is well known for having anything that
Everything.
you could possibly need.
He's probably got
Everything.
extra wet wipes in his truck.
Oh,
right now.
absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he pulls out one of those little, you know, portable chemical toilets.
Mhm.
And I have never seen someone get so obsessed with an item as Clay did. I mean, he is sitting there writing letters to Santa Claus.
There's no
Yes,
question.
yes.
Yeah.
And what did Santa Claus bring me?
Yeah. Santa brought him a chemical toilet.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
he
right.
is the best part. And the best part about that is so Clay's garage is the car has never been parked in there, right? Like there's a train set, which just confuses me, and then, you know, kayaks and all this stuff. And sometimes we'll go over there and he's got a table set up and TV and we'll type wise and all that. So he gets his chemical toilet last year for Christmas.
And he just set it up, didn't he?
He set it up in his garage and he's like
I
calling
remember
me
you
and
telling
he's
me about
like,
this
he's
trial
like,
run.
hey, I just pooped in my garage. And I'm like, oh, like I don't
What are you doing?
what I know, like, what are you doing? And you know, and his neighbors are calling me and like, hey, can you talk to him about
He won't
closing the
even
garage
close the
door?
door.
Yeah.
When I'm hunting squirrels, I'm there
When
on,
you're-
on
when
my
you're-
throne.
So he's
I'm
so
on
he's-
my throne in my ghillie suit.
yeah,
and
he's
I'm
on. Well,
popping
is
off.
it got the drop bottoms like the old
does.
like the old red
Yeah,
union
yeah.
suit?
Pretty impressive.
Wow.
It's my
You know, my
ghillie
biggest
suit
thing-
has the dumper pocket.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right. So
Right.
you and I have had this problem before, obviously, and I can tell that from the amount of crap we take on these trips.
Yeah.
My biggest pet peeve in camping is I hate being out there. I hate being in the woods. I hate being wherever we're camping and not having something I want to use. It's not need because I always have everything I need. I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
not having something that I want to use.
See, I have this thing too, where not only do I hate not having the thing that at the moment I think I need, right? But I
Right.
obviously don't, right? We're still alive. But I also hate the fact that here we are going roughing it camping, and I'm basically have like an 18-wheeler worth of crap loaded into my pickup truck. It takes me 2 days to pack. I have all this stuff. And not only look, I have a lot of camping stuff. The thing that drives me, I think the craziest about it is that I go do all of this, and then certain people sitting, for those of you not watching the podcast, Kenneth and I are both pointing our heads towards Clayton. But that certain people don't bring
Just roll in.
any of this stuff. And then you know, and then they're just and certain people are just like, yeah, see, you don't need all this stuff. It all works out. And I'm like, doesn't all work out? Like you're sitting in my chair drinking my coffee out of my cup after you slept in my like what
It
I mean, all
worked out.
works
though.
out. You're like living this catered experience. And yeah, it always throws. And what's funny is that so I've done a lot of backpacking and still enjoy backpacking. And it blows my mind that like my brother and I will go on like little weekend trips and stuff. I can throw everything that we need to go. I can backpack and all that in, you know, in my backpack, right? And just take off. And yet I go on this type of trip and I'm sitting there going like, well, maybe the Tacoma was a bad choice. I should have gotten a full-size truck. You know, I mean, it's
just
with
fill
a
that up
long bed
too.
and
Yeah.
a trailer,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just
See, I'm not a
so much
backpacker,
stuff.
right? I've done Philmont treks. It's not something that brings me great joy. So I'm literally the kind of person that could be sitting there around the campfire and we could be talking about something. Somebody will say, oh God, man, I was karaokeing this one time. It's like, yeah, probably should have brought a Bluetooth speaker and a karaoke microphone so we could karaoke right now.
Yeah, I
Just
mean, yeah,
whatever little
right.
earworm crawls in there and lodges in my brain. I'm like, yeah. I'm
There
so
cool
when I
with
start packing
karaoke.
the next time, I'm just like, oh, I need all this.
I tell
I
you,
always take 6 fly rods, 400 flies, 4 sets of waders, 3 sets of boots.
yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, so well, now that I have the toolboxes on the side of my truck,
Well,
like
that just makes you
there's
cocky.
five,
That
there's
just makes you
5 fly
cocky.
rods with me all the time. Like I'm gonna need that. But yeah, it's easy to bring way too much stuff. It's hard to find that middle ground sometimes.
But you know what that is? I think that is the Boy Scout in us, right? That is the
Yeah.
Always be prepared.
Yeah, I
we
mean
just-
that's so I laugh at myself, but like
We all do.
Yeah, me. Yeah. Yeah. But like but that's so part of the reason that I end up carrying a bigger bag fly fishing is that like that has been drummed into my head for so long that look, when you go look in my bag, there's going to be a fire starter, there's going to be water treatment tablets, there's a roll of toilet paper and a trowel, there's like all the stuff that you need to be out in the wilderness for a while. And one thing that I think is missed sometimes in the fly fishing community, and it depends on where you're going and how far away you are, but there's a lot of people going fly fishing out, walking downstream and being fairly remote from places that are not prepared for bad things to happen. No first aid kit, no space blanket, and this stuff isn't big to carry, right? I'm not saying that you got to carry a 75-liter, backpacking pack, but
You can do some pretty simple things.
Yeah.
Be a little bit prepared.
I mean, that ace bandage for when you twist your knee, your the space blanket is a huge one for me. Like, why would you go somewhere where you might get wet and hypothermic without a way to build a fire and trap some heat?
So I was about to say, so the
Yeah.
the three things, I've got a little first aid kit, I've got a space blanket, and I've got a compass and a fire starter. And that's kind of my,
Yeah, those are
that's what I roll with.
I have a compass, a fire starter, baby Benadryl, or children's Benadryl, just in case
Or
I
when the
get
snake
bit.
bites you.
right. Snake. Yeah.
Get bit
Yep.
on the ass by a
Because
rattlesnake.
you're terrified.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
And Benadryl itch cream.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a good. Yeah. I always
That's-
have some water treatment tablets too. That's just one of my.
Got a life straw. I've got a
Yeah.
life
Same
straw.
idea. Yeah. Something. I think some way to. I mean, because you're going to be near the
No,
water.
I'm not sold on that thing. I don't know.
I think the life straws do pretty well. I haven't checked the specs on those.
I think it's a
Um,
great company and we'd love to have
yeah.
them as a sponsor.
Yeah, I believe
Absolutely,
the,
Life Straw.
the
We love
Castor,
you.
the Castor Faith
And,
Life Straw edition, or Life Straw Castor Faith edition. It comes with its own Bible verse.
Like
You know,
In-N-Out burgers.
That's my
Wait,
thing.
and he's leaving again.
It's just
Okay. If you no,
it's a bad
no,
idea.
no, it's a
bad
bad
idea.
idea. It's a bad idea, coach. Don't do it.
And you're now creating a piece of evidence for when you get pulled over.
Oh, jeez.
Just a splash.
Such a God, and Mrs. Doubtfire's back. And
Yeah, Mrs. Featherbottom.
yeah.
You know that's Tobias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
that's
know, but the
Tobias.
house has never been cleaner. Oh, well, now we've hit the Arrested Development,
Right,
because
we've
our
reached the
podcast
super-
reaches on a show that was on 20 years ago.
that shows that we're relevant.
Yeah.
No, the thing is that I think has also made me laugh over the years on these trips. I find myself fishing less and less on these trips, but I'll bring all this gear and I'll have, 4 fly boxes and I'll be walking around, and it's almost like why you coach Little League, right? I find that I can go catch. You might want to make sure we mark this as a cocky statement of the day.
Okay. All right.
I can go catch fish. I'm not concerned about that. I feel like if people are catching fish, there are fish to be caught, I can catch fish.
Sure.
But I get so much more enjoyment out of people that haven't done this before and it's outside of their comfort zone. I'd rather stand next to them and what little bit of stuff I know kind of try to share with them to see them catch fish than go catch fish myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the difference between you and Clay in that regard is that in order to help someone catch a fish on the river, you have to actually
Catch a-
leave. You have to actually leave camp. Yeah. Because Clay is so funny. Clay will roll up on one of our trips and he pulls up his truck and he sleeps in the back of his, okay, Clay is 7'8".
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
This Tacoma has a 4.5 foot.
He's
bed.
got this like 4-foot bed and it's got the soft topper on there, but his head sticks out or his feet. I don't know how this thing, he gets in under this thing and that's where he sleeps. And then he starts pulling all the stuff out of there. And whenever he shows up, it's the middle of the night. The rest of us are setting up camp, getting food, getting over there. I look over, he's putting together 19 fly rods, all different
Get them all
reels.
strung out,
I mean,
yeah.
here we are, we're about to go, we're on a nice little trout stream. We're fishing for 10-inch.
Shit, my 9
10-inch.
weight.
Yeah, he's got his 9 weight out. Yeah.
9 weight with a
Like
number 3 hook.
we don't even know why he brought it, but he's putting them all together, setting up all these reels, getting them all there, putting them all on the top of his
Little
truck so that
trophy
he can,
hunting, son.
so he can lose at least one of them, right?
Yeah.
And all this, and
Or a
then
phone.
and then yeah, or a phone. Yeah, that's and then after he goes through this whole exercise, he proceeds to imbibe enough that we all are getting up to go fishing, and he's I'll come find you later. Yeah,
I'll
okay.
catch up. I'll get started on lunch.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
you
by
are.
the way, that's my stuff. My favorite is, I'm going to get started on, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to get started on lunch. We show up. There is no lunch. Like,
We got mustard and Parmesan.
yeah.
All right, hold on. While we're kicking Clay in the nuts, which is
Yeah.
our favorite pastime,
Yeah.
walk us through this morning's announcement
Oh my goodness.
about the
So,
trip, because I think overall, I will say, I think everyone except the French judge gave you maybe a 6.5.
Yeah.
So it was good. It wasn't great. I don't think you're gonna get on the medal stand.
no,
But
I didn't bring
Were
it
you
around why
provided-
I even
this is so fun.
got
I mean,
up
all right,
there.
just talk
Oh,
us through
like,
it. Just
I
talk us
just,
through
this
it.
Okay.
is,
So I get up there, and
So
number
wait, you got to
one,
paint the picture. Clay is
Okay.
making an announcement in front of the congregation at church this morning about this trip, trying to make people aware of it so we can get a few more folks signed up.
Yeah.
We took some time and brainstormed this morning and put together the outline of a few sentences, a light paragraph that you could get up there and read literally if you want to.
yeah.
But you
That's
want to
all
put
it-
your own spin on it, and I get that. So now that the stage is set, you get up there, start giving us the play-by-play of what's going through the melon at that point.
so the play-by-play at that point, I'm sitting there, I'm up there on stage, and in the corner of my eye, I can see Nick, who I'm imagining in my head is acting like, the
Wait,
sign language
Hold on.
guy.
Hold on.
That's
wait. Nick, your son.
Nick, my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So Nicholas is sitting up there, standing up there.
7.
Who's 7?
Right.
Looks like he had his shirt untucked with his sport coat on, and he quite honestly
Can we-
looked like
can
a
we-
43-year-old
hold on.
alcoholic attorney on his
Can we-
third divorce.
Can we just before you get too much further, can we visit the what is it going to take for you to get your kid to take his baseball cap off in church?
So he's behaving right now. He's not.
What you don't realize is Nick actually has early onset alopecia and it's bald. He looks just like Clay without his cap.
Oh,
He's very sensitive about
okay.
it.
All right.
Oh, this child
His
has
Kansas City
fabulous
Chiefs
hair.
cap.
Well, I mean,
No, here's the great irony. I was watching him. So when he would get back to his pew, he'd take his hat off to relax. He's like a country gentleman. When he got up to do work, put his hat back on. So he'd
Yeah,
have-
like I don't
Yeah,
know what he
yeah.
thinks he's doing there.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry.
All right, so you
yeah.
get up there and you got your little
I've
7-year-old
got
sign language
my
interpreter.
Yeah, he's interpreting.
Talk me through
over
because
there.
you made a conscious decision because we had a little script typed out.
I totally, and I was going around on that, and I totally got up there. And of course, everybody says, well, I couldn't hear a tremble. I couldn't see anything. Well, just in case any of y'all know out there, I am not the huge fan of speaking to a group.
I could tell there were some nerves, but you were doing a good
So-
job of tamping them down. A little
Yeah.
bit.
So, well, I mean, yeah, you have to fight through anything.
Sure.
Anytime you're
So you got up
nervous
there,
or scared.
And
Get
you
up
were,
there.
you were
Yeah.
scared.
You
So
make the
instead of
first move.
just going
Oh.
through the script, you thought to yourself, the way to combat these nerves is I'm just going to freelance a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm basically the Eminem
So
of
okay.
camping announcements.
Basically.
All right. Hold on. Because here's the exercise.
the light
that I'd
on the
like-
gospel.
Hold on.
probably
Hold on.
wasn't
Wait,
the
just a
best.
second. Because I'd like to run a little exercise right here. Now, Clay, in 30 seconds or less, I would like you to give us what you felt the message, just the
Hmm.
core message of your announcement was.
Or should have been.
No.
what it
I
was.
want to know
What
what
do
I
you
want
think-
your
what do you think
perspective.
the crowd
When you
heard?
and not based on anything that we've been busting your nuts on all day. I mean, when you stepped away from that podium and you walked back to your seat, I want to know what you felt like the message that you delivered was.
What did the crowd take away?
What the fuck did I just say?
So again, I don't really, I don't,
PG-13.
yeah, thank you. So
Yep.
I feel like you walked away from the podium. Correct me if I'm wrong. You walked away from the podium thinking, I have expressed that we have this men's spiritual outdoor retreat group, and I've invited, all the men in the congregation, and I've encouraged their wives to get these men
Get 'em
involved in this great opportunity
And
for
I made it
spiritual
clear
growth.
we weren't going to beat them over the heads,
So
make it a Bible study.
And agape love. which
yeah,
I
you
took
threw
you did-
agape
you
love in
did
there, which
very,
I appreciate that. That
very
was great.
strongly.
Let me tell you the message that I heard,
Okay.
which was, hey, ladies, send your men to cast your faith. We're going to get hammered and it's not a Bible study. That's what I heard.
How many times do you recall saying the phrase, we have some good drinks?
The best part was, so our senior warden and one of her good friends was sitting in the pew in front of me, and they both know Clay quite well. And these are ladies.
Very respectable actual ladies.
Yes, ladies, very respectable. Their kids are grown, if that gives you sort of an idea of age or whatnot. They were cracking up. They could not handle Clay behind the microphone at church, basically inviting any adult male over 21 to come get hammered
Hey, you
on.
We're gonna go out to the woods, get drunk, gonna eat food, and then Sunday morning we're gonna get up. It's not gonna be a sunrise service. It's gonna be just a little bit of service. No gospel. Ain't gonna be no gospel.
Yeah.
But send your husbands, your kids, everybody's with us. It's good for us, good for them.
Yeah.
We'll see you out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That was, I mean,
Amen. Agape.
yeah. So yeah, it was. Oh, I mean,
We're an outreach
I
ministry.
just
I'm
shut-
sorry.
oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, it was.
Look again. I got to tell
Something
you,
else.
it was a solid 6.5.
Yeah.
I think for
No.
being nervous,
Yeah.
you did a great job. But here's the thing: when you're nervous, that's not the time to freelance. When
Yeah,
you're
that's when
nervous,
you just
stick to the script.
stick to the script, because Kenneth wrote this. I mean,
Just a couple of
fantastic.
sentences.
Just, I mean, it's, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna let me find this real quick.
just we're just trying to deliver the message that
yeah,
we're gonna have a good time. There's a few open spots. So it's filling up fast.
It is. We've got,
And I didn't even know to mention there's a couple of empty spots,
Right.
which I was supposed to do.
So
Um,
hold on. This was what Kenneth wrote. Dang it. Hold on. I gotta.
You can adjust your font
Oh,
size so you
it's
don't need your
it's
glasses.
already bigger. If I make it much bigger, you won't have any words. Anyway, just a reminder that Cast Your Faith is going to Beaver's Bend, January 20th through 23rd. Our weekends are weekends of good food and good fellowship with fishing and camping mixed in. All
Covered
men
all
aged
that.
21 and up are welcome. No experience or equipment necessary. We do need to finalize our numbers. So if you're interested, please find me right after the service. Thank you.
I covered all that.
And
Did-
then some.
and then some. Yeah. Oh, it's good. We got a lot of good food and good libations, if you know what I mean.
Lot of good drink. Wink, wink.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Um,
Really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
yeah, so the trip is coming up and we've got all sorts of plans and it's great. If you're not signed up, then too bad for you.
I mean, look,
But,
I can't
well-
say this strongly enough in terms of the trips that we're going to take. So when we go to the coast, when we go to Arkansas, we'll be staying in cabins of some sort, right? When
Yep,
we go to
probably.
Colorado Bend, we'll be camping.
Yep.
But it'll be warm.
Well, it's spring in Texas. It'll either be warm or,
Or
snowing.
snowing,
Yeah.
yeah. This right now, the weather forecast that I'm seeing is like 50s and 60s, lows in the mid 30s.
Yeah.
This is
Perfect.
dreamboat camping.
This really is.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're not a big camper and the idea of cold weather camping is can be intimidating. Look, cold weather camping is the best because you're not all hot and sweaty and can't sleep or whatever. It's really easy to bring warm stuff, and sit around the campfire, and you're not like, oh, I'm sitting around the campfire and I'm just sweating
The greatest nights of sleep I've ever had in my life
yeah.
When it
have
was
been in the
freezing.
40 to 10 degree range.
Oh yeah, when it's really cold. When you wake up and there's ice on
Oh,
the rain fly,
bruh.
that's the best.
Brian was pissed at you and I because that night that it got down cold,
Oh,
you
yeah.
and I were like,
That was
synced up.
my
It was back and
pre-CPAP
forth.
days, and I was
yeah,
lighting it up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They got a break from Clayton every 15 minutes when you get up to go vomit. But
Right.
not
Yeah,
me.
that's his move.
Flat rock.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on not a whole lot, but I think it's time.
Is it time to hit the
It's
theme?
time to hit the theme.
Dun-dun-dun,
Dun-dun-dun. Squirrel center, watch center.
center.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it on to Jeff.
Unnecessary, but thank you.
I'm going to
Um,
pass it on to Clayton so he
You
can pass it on to Jeff.
I'm rubber and your glue jumps off me and sticks onto you.
No takebacks.
Oh, jeez.
No flexies.
Yeah, so I went fishing yesterday, and yeah,
Tell us about that. Jeff.
I'm literally that's what I'm doing. But so they so up at Leela, which we've been to before, which is the where the Trinity comes out of Lake Louisville.
Carp heaven.
It is carp heaven. So
You outlined
This
that
is-
in the previous
yeah, we did.
podcast.
This is where I foul hooked the one, and Clay lost it for me. But so anyway, they stocked trout earlier this week. So I was like, hey, you know what? I've got some time on Saturday morning. I'm gonna go up there, and actually had a couple of guys that I work with, some younger guys, that they were gonna go. It was rainy in the forecast. They decided to bow out, and I was like, you know what? Honestly, it's your first time fly fishing. This isn't.
Let's have a good
Yeah, just
experience.
whatever.
This
Just stay
isn't it.
home.
Yeah.
But I went up there, and it was kind of a drizzly, rainy day, cloudy, and I get out there and it's raining on me. But anyway, I get all geared up, and these are stocker trout. They're all like 8 to maybe 12 inches. So I grab my 3 weight.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
my
'Cause
8
you want to have
6.
fun with it. You don't want it to just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care, right? I'm just gonna try to catch some little stocker trout. So I get down there, and there's basically, I have now around there. It looks like they dump them all and they stay in this one little spot, and that's where some conventional guys were pulling them out on who knows what. But and they weren't very big. I love seeing someone put like a 6-inch
100%.
trout on a stringer. I'm like, what? Like, I get that they're not going to hold over, but just leave it in there. What are you doing? And like, who wants to eat that?
You-
But
You're going to take that home?
yeah, they were. And so anyway, so I'm fishing around. I try this area and that area.
Fishing around.
Fishing around.
See what you
Yeah.
did there?
Yeah. So anyway, I come back around. Finally, I'm like, well, they're not hitting on anything. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw a tie on a woolly bugger, throw it through here, see if I can catch something. All of a sudden, that thing takes off. I have hooked a carp
Legit.
on
hook.
my, yeah, I actually hooked it. He ate the black woolly bugger, and
What size?
an 8.
Okay.
And takes off, and I'm on my 3 weight with a bat and kill reel that has like no drag system, right? Yeah, oh, it's just going off, and
Your
I'm trying
drag
to hold it.
system is
I was about to say,
the
do you have
palm of
blisters
your
on your
hand.
hand now?
Yeah, so I mean, I think I fought this thing for like 30 minutes, and
sure.
yeah, and it was fine. It was fun, and I finally land this thing, and you would not believe the bird's nest of my reel. I had to
Oh,
take
what?
I had to take the spool off.
I mean, for
undo
people
the
that
whole
haven't seen
thing.
the pictures, this was a good fish.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a
this
good
was
carp. Yeah.
3-4 pound fish, probably.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean-
Because you saw it in my net. That's my big net. I mean, that's my big net. That's
Oh,
probably,
okay.
I need to measure that net out because I
It's
just took a
probably
picture in there.
5 pounds. It
Yeah.
was,
It was
it was
a good-
every bit of
it was a
5 to
good
6
sized fish.
pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I finally land that thing, let him go. And then I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm done. But did not catch a single trout. That's for sure. But
It's all right. You've
So
done more catching than the rest of us.
yeah.
0 times 1 is 0.
0. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
What else do we
that's
need to
all.
cover?
I think that's it.
That's
it all?
pretty much it.
Yeah. I
All
think
right.
we,
Put a bow on this one, kids. We'll see
I
you
think
next
we're
week.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Deuces.
Deuces, we out.